Welcome to this Quick Take Rapid Learning module. Today's topic, communication, getting your buyer to see the light. Veronica's client, Sam, is furious. Every month, the bill I get from you people is bigger than the one before, he fumes. Veronica's perplexed. The bills have been up a little one month, down the next. But overall, they've been steady for the last 12 months. Veronica tells Sam, maybe I'm missing something, but we haven't increased our average billings. Sam persists. If you want to keep my business, I expect an adjustment on this bill. The customer is always right? Please. Sometimes customers are dead wrong when they say things like, I know for a fact that your products aren't as reliable as brand X, or your product failed, or we never hear from you. So how do you get a customer to see the light? In this quick take, you will learn the best way to communicate hard truths to buyers, how to present evidence in a way that's less likely to lead to a debate, and why we communicate better when we speak in the brain's native language. Let's get back to Veronica. Her sales manager tells her, stick to your guns, but don't make Sam mad. His business is important to us. Veronica is worried that with his emotions running high, Sam won't admit he's wrong. She considers 3 approaches. 1. Review copies of old invoices one by one. 2. Present a chart showing the billings for the last 12 months. 3. Build up Sam's self-esteem, praising him for his well-deserved reputation for fairness before she asks him to review the billings. So, what's the best way to counter a person who has deeply held but incorrect beliefs? A Dartmouth University study gives us the answer. In the experiment, the researchers presented people with facts that contradicted their political views. They deliberately chose emotional topics, highly polarizing issues that make people really dig in their heels. People who'd opposed President Bush's surge strategy in the Iraq War were presented with evidence that the strategy had reduced violence in Iraq. And people who disapproved of Barack Obama's handling of the economy were shown evidence showing that jobs had increased during the first year of his presidency. The point wasn't to prove anyone wrong or promote a specific political agenda. The researchers simply wanted to know what might get people to consider evidence that contradicted their deeply held views. When presenting this evidence, the researchers used approaches similar to Veronica's 3 options. Explain the data in words, summarize the evidence in a chart, and build up the buyer's self-esteem before presenting the evidence in words. The least effective approach? Simply explaining the facts in words. Building up the buyer's self-esteem didn't work either. The most effective technique was to present the information in a chart. But why? It has to do with the brain's structure, according to neuroscientists. Cognitive researchers suggest that the human brain has evolved in such a way that it's more likely to see visuals as true and words as literally debatable. It seems that when evidence is presented in words, our brains tend to view them as part of an argument. So when that evidence contradicts our beliefs, the brain begins creating counter-arguments. Present that same evidence visually, however, and we process it differently. We see it as real in a way that mere words are not. It's no secret, of course, that visuals are extremely powerful tools of persuasion. A classic study from the University of Minnesota, for example, found that presentations using visual aids are 43% more persuasive than unaided presentations. The Minnesota study also found that visuals don't have to be especially striking or provocative. Images don't persuade because they're pretty. They persuade because they're in the native language of the brain. More of the brain's processing power is devoted to visual information, so we understand and remember images better than words. What's more, neurological studies show that the brain has to work much harder to process words than pictures, creating more opportunities for the information to be corrupted, manipulated, modified, or misunderstood. So for Veronica, the best option is clear. When she meets with Sam, she doesn't show up with a folder full of old invoices. She doesn't try to tell him what a great guy he is. She hands him a single chart showing that despite some monthly fluctuations, his bills haven't gone up. Sam, she says, You raised some concerns about billing. So I put together this chart showing how much we've billed you each month this year versus last year. Then she remains silent and lets the graphics do the explaining. Of course, this approach might not always work. Sam's complaints about the bills might be a smokescreen for another issue or a negotiating ploy. But he's more likely to be persuaded by a chart than by a conversation over a stack of backup invoices or attempts to make him feel good about himself. This research has implications that go beyond correcting a buyer's misperceptions, of course. Telling buyers they're wrong is one of the toughest challenges in sales. And if visuals can help with that, consider how they can help you persuade buyers in other situations as well. Thanks for watching. Now click on the quiz button to test your knowledge on this subject. And please take 15 seconds to click on the link and fill out an evaluation of this program.